Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Allie and I finally got my pre-orders in from last week. It took like a week to get my pre-orders in. Usually it only takes a couple days, but whatever. Like a couple days from the pre-orders. So it's been a week since these were released. Oh my God. I'm a little hungover, but we're gonna just battle through, okay? We have Book Lovers, which I believe is what I'm reading for this vlog today, right now. I have Book of Night by Holly Black. I Kissed Shara Wheeler. Look at the spine on this, so pretty. And Darling Girl by Liz Mikulski. Believe this is a Peter Pan retelling, but I think Peter Pan is evil. Anyway, this is what we're here about. Book Lovers, Emily Henry. I have read two of her other books, The People I Meet on Vacation, which is my absolute favorite of hers, and Beach Read, which I really did like, but it didn't hit as hard, because I really do love Friends to Lovers. This, however, I'm actually really nervous about. First of all, because it's one of my most anticipated, It's one of my most anticipated releases of this year, and that means it's probably gonna suck. I have seen a couple people reviewing this, and I haven't watched like everything or read everything because I want to go in with as little info as possible. If you guys follow Locke's Library, you've probably already seen her video of this review, and if you haven't, go check it out. I'll link it down below. But she said something about it being like Gilmore Girls like, which makes me very excited. However, then there's a couple other booktubers that I follow that say that this is really boring. Oh, what was the other thing that they said that I was offended by? I also heard that it's a less compelling story than this, The Roughest Draft, which I still have not read. Now I'm glad I didn't read it because now I can't compare it to that. The only other reasons, without taking into consideration anyone else's review of this, I'm a little nervous because it's enemies to lovers. And also, like, they go and stay at this place. It's like kind of a vacation, and I don't really like vacation stories, which is awkward because the people I'm tired of talking. I'm gonna start reading this. Oh boy. I'm gonna start reading this, and once I have more thoughts and... Oh, I'm actually so excited, but I'm really trying to like rein myself in just in case too much expectation can be harmful for a book. And it's not the book's fault. But as always, let's read the first sentence together. Okay, the prologue, first sentence. When books are your life, or in my case, your job, you get pretty good at guessing where a story is going. That's a decent sentence. I skipped to chapter 1, which is 2 years later, and the first sentence is, the city is baking. That's fine. That's fine. I'll take it. Okay, bye. Okay, wait. I'm on page 2 and I'm already laughing. So our main character is talking about how there's always that romance story of the guy goes to like a small town and realizes that the big city life is just too evil or something. So he like dumps the city girl and marries the girl from the small town. And then it says, at this point you find yourself screaming at the book, you don't even know her. What's her middle name, bitch? Ugh, I just like it when people say bitch. Okay, I'm just a little over 100 pages into this book, and so far, I absolutely love it. I love this kind of character. It's giving me This Lullaby by Sarah Dessen, which is actually my favorite Sarah Dessen book. It's the kind of female main character who is snarky and a little bitchy, but not overtly rude. She's just got a very strong sense of self, and she's not gonna take shit from anyone, and I absolutely am obsessed. I don't think I've even told you the gist of what this is. Basically, it's about this woman who is a literary agent in New York City. Her sister and her decide to go to North Carolina on a vacation for a month. At the same time, this guy that she butted heads with 2 years ago, who's an editor, he happens to be in the same town, and they've gone back and forth through email a couple times, and then right now they've interacted, and I had to say, the banter between these two is very good. That's one of my favorite things. Like, The Hating Game, yes, that book was a little cringe. However, the banter between the two of them, it sold me. It sold me. And this, I feel like, is not that cringe. It's pretty well written. Obviously, I don't think anyone's surprised. But then there's the banter, so it's like you're smiling as you're reading it. Yo, bro, who got you smiling like that? Sorry, that was TikTok Alley. I also can tell we're gonna get a lot with her and her sister, and I love sister relationships. Plus, also, we're talking a lot about tropes and characters and characterizations of people, but also kind of showing the curtain behind the book publishing industry about agents and what they have to deal with authors, which is ironic because an agent had to look this over and an editor had to look this over. So yeah, I'm absolutely loving every part of it. The only thing that, like, if this were badly written or there was no chemistry between the love interests, that would bug me. It doesn't bug me, but it would if it were poorly written, is like, I hate it in books. This is a trope that I actually hate. When one of the characters is like, okay, here's a list of things we need to do on this trip or on this vacation or on this summer break, whatever. And like, they list out the things and you can practically see the scenes happening already. And you're just like, oh God, I would have just rather been surprised by this. And so the list sets up cringy situations to happen because it's like you have to fall back on, oh well, my sister and I agreed that we would ride a horse or something stupid like that. So far it has not hindered my enjoyment, and I'm really liking it so far, so that makes me happy. Okay, it's the next day after work. I'm on page 200 and I don't know if it's just because I set the book down and now I'm kind of like out of the story, but something has just happened and I think it's not just me. That little list that I was scared of has now become a driving factor in the plot, and it is annoying. I'm just gonna say that now. Obviously no spoilers, but it's just annoying when characters make decisions that make no sense and then they have this excuse behind it of they have to complete this list, complete this challenge. It just seems kind of cheap, I guess. I also just got a really big whiff of Gilmore Girls because they were just at like a town meeting inside like a ballet studio or like a dance studio building. So it sounds like they're at like Miss Patty's. So that is fun. I like reading about that. And I'm still really liking Charlie and Nora's chemistry. Those are our two main characters. If I haven't already said this vlog is a mess. My husband's playing video games back there. It's probably noisy, I'm sorry. I still like their chemistry, but now it's getting to the point, the reasoning for why they're will they, won't they is making sense right now, but I could see myself getting annoyed with it if it's gonna go on much longer, which we're just over halfway through, so I'm thinking it's going to be. All I'm gonna say right now about the thing that's annoying me is that I hope Shepherd literally lasts a couple more pages and then I'm over it. I'm already over it. What am I saying? Okay. I'm scared. Suddenly our grown-ass adult narrators, suddenly our grown-ass adult main characters are acting like middle school children. They're like taking turns trying to make each other jealous. They're over the age of 30. This is taking a dark, dark turn, and I hope it finds its way back. Okay, I just finished the book. I have to admit that I was really wanting it to come to a close, which pains me to say. And I really don't know how I feel about the book. I feel like the first half of it, I absolutely loved it. And I loved so much about it. I loved the main character. I loved all of the other characters. I loved the main character's job. I love the love interest and the romance, but also the tension. So I'm racking my brains to just understand what went wrong. For me, like obviously this is a good book, but it's not clicking with me. I feel like the second half, it was trying to be sappy and kind of gut-wrenching, but I feel like the stakes weren't high enough, and we kept getting these like plot twists that weren't, first of all, they weren't that surprising, but they also weren't, I don't know, that they weren't that big of a deal in my opinion. Or I hated the use of this random character Shepherd. It felt kind of empty, like the second half of this. So let me focus on the things that I really did like. The first half of the book, I absolutely loved it. First of all, it was so funny. I have so many tabs in here of just like funny moments. The banter between the two main characters, I really liked how unapologetically type A our main character was, and I like how much she loved her job and how good at it she was. I liked reading about that because, I mean, as someone who loves books, that's always really fun to read about. It was almost like this book was trying at first to be like a rom-com, and then it tried to be like a Colleen Hoover book. But I feel like there wasn't anything supremely sad or tortured about this story. Like, obviously our main character has trauma and she has baggage, and that was beautiful to read about and having her work through it. But I feel like it was overwrought. It was super dramatized for a minute there. It didn't feel genuine. I think something that I've realized just as a personal preference in my reading is that I don't think I like books that take place in small towns where the people aren't from, when they go there for a trip or if they move there. I like to know the habits of people, and I like that kind of feeling of steadiness, which is funny because that's exactly what our main character feels as well. I did appreciate how the author talked about how Nora and her sister got into this routine while they were in their little cottage. I love reading about shit like that, but I feel like this book kind of lost kind of a sense of what it was as well, because it started off strong, and then we relied on, I suppose, tropes and lists and jealousy, and then it petered off exactly how I thought it would. It was just weak in the middle, just in my preferences. Like, obviously, if you like this book, it's because it's written well and Emily Henry is lovely. But yeah, unfortunately, this is not my favorite book. Out of the 3 of the books that I've read of Emily Henry's, this is my least favorite, then it's Beach Read, and then The People We Meet on Vacation. And I feel bad because, like, one of the last lines is, she wonders whether what comes next could ever live up to the expectations. She doesn't know. You never can. She turns the page anyway. There is probably a lot of pressure on Emily Henry because everyone has loved her books, but I don't see any reason why that would change my opinion of her other books or her as an author. I don't even know what I'm saying anymore. So I am glad I was excited for this book. I'm glad I didn't get my hopes too high. I'm glad I took things from this book that I did like, and I'm glad I learned more about myself as a reader. So wow. I think at the end of the day, I'm gonna give this a 3-star. I'm gonna probably sleep on it. And now I wanna go watch and listen to and read all the reviews that I started and then didn't finish, because I wanna know what other people are thinking about this. And then I also have my little tabs here. The green was for all the funny moments. There were quite a few, especially in the first half. I feel like in the second half, it took that turn that books take when someone says something and then the other character laughs really hard and it's like, wait, that wasn't really funny. But my God, I was laughing like the first half of this. And then there were really sweet moments between the love interests. I really liked the pairing of the love interests because they were so similar, and I think that's something that we don't really get, especially when there's tropes that are so different, like Grumpy Sunshine. But this was really just like 2 people who are so similar, and yeah, that can work great too, and sometimes for the best because they understand what another person needs because it's what they need. It was a little weird to me that when I thought about it, they fell so quickly. Like, it was a week or 2 before they were like, I don't know. And that's the problem with me when something happens when people are on vacation or on a trip somewhere. It doesn't feel real. And so yeah, people actually, like in real life, hello, has anyone seen The Bachelor? They fall in love within a small period of time, and then they have the wake-up call of going back to reality. And so I always think about this. So when I'm reading something, when someone's on vacation, I am thinking about that, which is also something that our main character was probably feeling this whole time. My favorite quote is on page 344. It's, "This is what it is to dream. This wanting, it feels good, like a bruise you need to press on. A reminder that there are things in life so valuable that you must risk the pain of losing them for the joy of briefly having them." I feel like that's a Taylor Swift lyric, and it's beautiful. Okay guys, I'm going to wrap this up and edit this video, but I hope you, I don't think this was a very enjoyable vlog, but if you found this interesting, I am glad. And if you have thoughts on this book, if you read it, or if you're looking forward to reading it, please let me know down below. Also, let me know which of those 3 books of Emily Henry's you've read. People We Meet on Vacation, Beach Read, and Book Lovers. How do you rank them? Okay guys, I will see you in the next video. Goodbye.